Welcome to Politicos 254. Here we talk about law, power, and politics. Today we'll be talking about the controversy surrounding Israeli national Erez Rivkin settlement in Solai. This was started by an interview by journalist Alex Chamwada of Chams Media, where in a YouTube video he tours a sprawling 520-acre farm in Solai, Nakuru County, owned by Israeli investor Erez Rivkin.
My name is Erez Rivkin. Originally came from Israel, the Holy Land.
The Holy Land, yes. I've been there before.
And actually I came to Kenya for business and I stayed for love.
You came for business and stayed for love.
And I stayed for love.
Yeah.
And we love the environment, we love the people, we love the community.
Okay.
And we are doing agriculture. We started 15 years ago in Naivasha.
In Naivasha.
And now we are here in Solai, in 520 acres farms, doing agriculture. And also we did a lot of real estate. We did also in Naivasha, by the way. We are doing here, you know, in Solai, we already did over 6,000 square meters of building.
Wow.
Stores, pack houses, offices, staff houses. It's already existing.
Huge.
Rivkin, who has called Kenya home for about 15 years, showcases high-tech greenhouses, bursting with crops like rosemary destined for export markets in Europe and the Middle East. There are also rows of solar panels powering the site and even a stone quarry on the property. He pitches the quote-unquote Great Rift Valley Retreat as a hybrid haven, a place where people can buy plots, build homes, and tap into a ready-made farming ecosystem for income. He encourages potential investors to buy what he calls the dream life, with a strong sales pitch talking about amenities including infinity pools, restaurants, and the longest zip line in Kenya, stretching from one side of the settlement to the other. Now, what started as a feel-good story about innovation quickly turned into a firestorm. Within days, posts on social media exploded with accusations, racking up thousands of shares. Kenyans voiced fears of an Israeli settlement sprouting on African soil, or worse, a little Israel that could erode local control. Some drew chilling parallels to the Palestinian Nakba, suggesting that this could be the start of land dispossession. Some hailed the job opportunities and agriculture technology boost, while others decried it as a subtle sovereignty threat. Rivkin himself has pushed back, insisting that it's open to all and about shared prosperity. But as of today, the online storm shows no signs of fading, fueled by global echoes of the Israel-Palestine conflict. In order to understand why people are angry with the settlement, we have to rewind over a century to the early days of the Zionist movement. In 1903, as Jewish communities were ravaged in Russia, with an example being the horrific Kishinev massacre, Theodor Herzl, the father of modern Zionism, desperately sought a safe haven for his people. The British Empire under colonial secretary Joseph Chamberlain proposed carving out 5,000 square miles in the Uasin Gishu Plateau in western Kenya for an autonomous Jewish territory. It was misnamed the Uganda Scheme because the area fell under the Uganda Protectorate at the time, and it was pitched as a temporary refuge while the dream of Palestine simmered. This idea split the Zionist Congress. A 1903 vote in Basel sent a scouting team, but they returned unimpressed by the wild terrain, rampant wildfire, and pushback from Maasai locals. British settlers in Kenya added to their own resistance, blending economic worries with outright anti-Semitism. By 1905, the Zionists voted it down, doubling down on Palestine instead. Now, no grand exodus followed, though a handful of Jewish families trickled into Nairobi by 1913, setting up shops and farms. Today, this forgotten chapter fuels a lot of what-if debates. In Kenya, it lingers as a symbol of colonial-era meddling, resurfacing in critiques of projects like Rivkin's. Fast forward to today, and Kenya's Jewish community totals between 300 to 700 people, centered in Nairobi, with the historic Nairobi Hebrew Congregation Synagogue standing since 1912. They are mostly made up of Israeli expats in business or diplomacy, plus a few Kenyan converts inspired by Uganda's Abu Yadaya Jews. Israeli footprints run deeper through investments with dozens of companies in agriculture, cybersecurity, renewables, and infrastructure. Economic ties trace back to Kenya's 1963 independence, evolving into partnerships in security and trade. Now, this has not been without controversy, with the failed Galana Kulalu irrigation scheme, where Israeli farm Green Arava was contracted in 2014 by the National Irrigation Authority to develop a 10,000-acre model farm. This project was largely funded through a 6.3 billion shilling loan from Israel's bank Leumi. The initiative was treated as a government-to-government flagship project, enjoying high-level diplomatic support from both former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The project stalled in 2019 after reaching approximately 85 to 90% completion. A dispute arose over unpaid bills, with Green Arava claiming over 1 billion shillings in arrears, while Kenyan authorities accused the firm of being a liability and failing to meet obligations. Now, Kenya eventually terminated the contract with Green Arava in 2020, but this received a lot of backlash, with critics labeling it as a scam. Now, legally speaking, there are question marks about Erez Rivkin's settlement. He has marketed it as a freehold property. Now, a freehold title guarantees the owner absolute rights to the land, including those of selling it. And Kenya's land laws ban foreigners from freehold land ownership, capping them at 99-year leases. So this begs the question, how exactly did he get his hands on a freehold title? So, beneath the surface of this seemingly innovative project lies a web of concerns that Kenyans might rightly view with suspicion. While fact checks debunk the claims of this being a state-backed mini-Israel or a direct parallel to the Uganda Scheme, and links of this project to the 2018 Solai Dam tragedy remaining unproved, the development raises red flags about transparency, equity, and long-term control. Rivkin's portrayal of the 520-acre site as a harmonious agri-residential retreat sounds appealing, but critics argue that it's a glossy pitch for what could become a hotbed of foreign influence, where agricultural exports benefit outsiders more than locals. For starters, the legal loopholes allowing foreigners like Rivkin's to effectively control Kenyan prime land undermine the spirit of Kenya's constitution, which was designed to protect against colonial-style exploitation. Past Israeli-Kenyan ventures like the troubled Galana Kulalu project have left a trail of unfulfilled promises and wasted public funds, fueling doubts about this project. And amid global scrutiny of Israeli land policies in Palestine, the optics of a kibbutz-style setup in Rift Valley stir fears of gradual demographic shifts or economic dominance. Sure, there's no concrete evidence of malice yet, but history teaches caution. Small-scale investments can explode if unchecked, eroding sovereignty little by little. Kenyans should demand full disclosure on ownership, environmental impact, and benefit sharing, and push for stricter regulations on foreign land deals. In a nation still grappling with land injustices from colonial times, dismissing these worries as mere misinformation risks repeating old mistakes. Kenyans, vigilance is essential to our sovereignty.